A certain influential chief had deep affection for a young lady in his village. His admiration for her was very genuine and strong. But due to his painfully shy nature, he never found the courage to approach her and express his feelings. Sadly, before he could make any attempts to profess his love, tragedy struck. The lady passed away unexpectedly. Her body was taken to the village mortuary. The chief went to the mortuary to pay his final respects. When he found himself alone with the corpse, he began fantasizing and touching her private areas. The chief was so engrossed that he didn't realize the mortuary attendant had walked in and witnessed the scene. Shock and embarrassment immediately gripped the chief. He fell on his knees, pleading with the attendant and offering to pay him any amount of money he wanted, just to keep the disgraceful act a secret. At first, the attendant refused, claiming he does not take bribe. But after some time, he demanded a large sum of money, which the chief quickly paid. But the matter did not end here. The poor mortuary attendant began blackmailing the chief repeatedly. During community meetings, anytime the chief attempted to speak or presented an opinion different from the attendant's, a man would simply give him a threatening look, reminding him silently that he could expose him at any moment. The attendant insulted, mocked, and talked down to the chief boldly. Everyone in the village noticed the unusual behavior, but did not understand why the chief remained silent. This humiliation continued for a long time. But on one fateful day, the chief decided he had reached his limit. He requested a meeting with the king, the elders, and the entire community. When everyone gathered, he announced that he had a confession to make. The crowd was confused. Now, because of the chief's high status, the king advised that he confess privately before the council of elders. But the chief insisted on speaking publicly. He then confessed to the entire kingdom that he had attempted to have sexual relations with a cause out of emotional confusion and weakness. When the chief finished his confession, the entire village fell silent. Now, after some moments, one of the elders raised his hand and said, "We are listening. Please continue with your confession." The chief replied, "That is all." But to his surprise, the king, the elders, and the villagers did not react with fury as he had expected. Instead, the father of the deceased woman stepped forward. With tears in his eyes, he said gently, "Chief, my sorrow is not that you touched my daughter's body after death, but that you never told her you loved her while she was alive. Had you spoken, she might have been your wife, but you stayed silent. And now, both of you have lost what could have been." Then, with unexpected grace, the father added, "I still have other daughters. If your heart is true, perhaps one of them may yet walk with you." The king was greatly impressed by the chief's humility and courage. He honored the chief with a new title, the Honest Heart, in front of everyone. The villagers were touched by how the chief handled the matter with truth and transparency. Their respect for him grew even deeper. As for the mortuary attendant, he stood in the back, pale and broken. His power vanished the moment the secret was spoken aloud. Overwhelmed by shame, he gathered his belongings that very night and disappeared. No one ever saw him again. Now, where are some of the moral lessons in this story? A secret held in darkness has power over you, but when brought into the light through confession, it loses its power. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to do what is right despite the fear. The attendant's power was entirely borrowed from the chief's secrets. Blackmail is a weak foundation for power,